This video is on a natural dewy look. I held a poll on Facebook and Instagram of a look that my peers and my followers wanted to see next. I did have some votes for full glam, but natural won. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment. If you like this video, at the end, please like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy! So for this dewy look, we need to make sure that we are moisturizing and hydrating our face, but we're gonna start on our eyes just so that way we don't have any fallout, especially with it being dewy and hydrating on our face. Any fallout from eyeshadow is gonna stick really, really, really well to our face, and we don't want that. We're gonna do the Tarte base tape. But we still don't want our eyeshadow to crease. The concealer will help with that, and also the setting powder that we're going to put on over our concealer on our eyes. I'm going to use NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop, I think it's called. Yep, Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer. And I'm just going to put it all over. Now I need some setting powder on my eyes. I'm going to use Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm going to use the lighter shade. She does have two different shades. She has a deeper color for darker skinned people, and then she has the lighter color for lighter skin. I want to use the same brush that I used with the concealer because it's still a little wet from the concealer, and it's going to make the setting powder stick better to the brush, which ultimately will be better for application. Now we can get started on our eyeshadow, the MAC Soft Brown eyeshadow. I'm not going to apply closer to my eyebrow because it's going to make my eyes appear larger, which you can do if you want a natural look, but to have that same effect of having your eyes appear larger. But I'm gonna stick to how small my eyes are naturally and normally, and I'm gonna go more in the crease. I want to leave more space between my brow and this color than I normally would. As opposed to full glam, I would go higher and closer to the bottom of my brow. I'm not going to put as much of the soft brown as I normally would because again, we're going for a natural look. The next color I'm going to use is from the Naked 2 palette, the shade Cover. You can use a flat head brush. But I am going to go back to my fluffy brush. Keeping this very neutral. I'm only slightly brushing it to my inner corner. I don't want it to be too bare, but I also don't want it, again, to be too dramatic. To kind of blend both those colors, I'm actually going to use a color from the Brunch Babe palette by Morphe in the shade Beignets. It's right here. I'm gonna take that soft brown again. We need to work on our lids. I have a stainless steel scraper that I got from Amazon. It came also with a palette, stainless steel palette. And I'm going to take the scraper and whatever color eyeshadow I'm going to use for my lid, I'm going to scrape a little bit and mix it with the serum. With the color Weekend out of the Brunch Babe palette by Morphe right here. It did make the eyeshadow look a little darker, but I'm sure once we apply it, it's not going to be as dark. As you can see, it is very light once you put it on. which is what we want. Now that we've placed the lid color and I want to just kind of clean up what's on our lids, I'm going to take that soft brown brush that we used by Morphe, the M433. And you don't really need to put any more on the actual brush. It's more just for cleanup. And obviously you can modify this look anyway. If you wanted more of a smoky eye, you can put a darker color, like a darker brown. That's my suggestion, on the outer corner of your eye, and that'll give it more of a smoky eye. Awesome. I'm just going to take any of the fluffy brushes that I have, and I'm just going to wipe the excess off. I want my skin to look very dewy. I'm going to use a hydrating primer. It's by Cinema Secrets. I used this in my previous video, my first video, because my skin was very dry that night prior to recording. Because I have blemishes from me waxing my face the other night, I need to cover those first. That same concealer that I used to apply to my eyes, I'm going to just kind of spot treat those areas. For now, while you're just concealing, you don't want to blend in too much. I'm just going to go over my dark circles. I get this question actually quite a bit, especially from any clients that decide to take a makeup course with me. Should you wet your beauty blender? You definitely want to wet it, for sure. I'm going to use NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade Nude. I'm going to use the, I don't actually ever know how to pronounce this, Chiate? Maybe, possibly, hydrating primer. This stuff actually smells so good. Take your stainless steel applicator, and you're going to mix some of that serum in. I'm actually gonna mix all of it. Now I love a full coverage look, so I'm going to put more than other people that just want a very sheer look. I'm going to apply more foundation. I'm going to actually mix some highlighter in my foundation to give me more of a glow. And I'm going to use Laritzi, their illuminator in the shade Utopia. I still want to contour. I'm actually going to use LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Suede. Instead of bringing my contour bronzer line all the way forward, I'm going to keep it more over here. And I'm going to go a little higher. And I still want to contour my nose. And now I'm going to take the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the shade Nude Beige. Your concealer for highlighting should always be a shade or two lighter than your foundation. I don't want a very harsh contour. I want this to blend very nicely. Now that we've blended our cream contour, we're going to work on our brows. I'm using the shade Brunette. Now we're going to take the other side of this micro pencil. It's definitely a little different than what you would picture a pencil looking like. I'm going to fill in some spots that are open to create that shape of brow that I want. Now at that point you can fill the rest of your brows in with the micro pencil, or you can take a powder or a pomade and you can now fill in with that. So I'm going to take the Anastasia Brunette palette powder. My Posh by Brie angled brush that does come with a spoolie at the end of it. And I'm gonna go somewhat upwards, but to the side. And now I'm going to take the darker color and I'm going to do the outer ends of my brow. I'm just going to brush it out and blend. And now we're just going to define underneath. You can define over here. I'm not going to do too much on top because I don't want it too chiseled. We can move on to our setting powder. I'm literally only putting my setting powder right here. I'm going to use Tarte Park Ave Princess in their Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer. This bronzer actually is amazing. Now I'm going in an upward motion. And you can go a little forward. So for the foundation powder I'm going to use to kind of blend a little bit more is the Barely Beige in Youngblood. Again, because I want a very natural, still flawless look. And I'm just going to kind of go over my whole face with it, just to help blend everything and set all the cream that's on my face, because as much as I want dewy, I don't want to feel oily and sticky. I want the illusion of the dewy look. I don't want to actually be super, super, super dewy. We're just going to go over our bronzer. And you're going to sweep your nose just a little. You can pat it. I am going to drip myself in highlighter. I want to look dewy AF. The first shade I'm going to put on for highlighter is the Desi Danger highlighter palette from Morphe. And I'm actually going to use this color right here. My cheekbones. I want to glow, honey. Go over my nose, the tip of my nose. I'm going to go and sweep under my brow. Gonna go a little above. And I'm actually gonna set that a little bit because I don't want that to be too much. The bridge of my nose. To my Cupid's bow. I am glowing, honey. Yes, bitch. Yes, yes, yes. Glowing. Glow on. I need to glow in the inner corners. And I am going if this is enough glow for you, you do not need to go on. I am going to top this off with a little Amrezy. I'm going to take that foundation in the Barely Beige with this brush, and I'm just gonna go over it in some areas so it kind of like sets a little bit better. So another thing that you can do is you can add some blush of the Tarte Party. I don't want a lot, and I'm definitely going to blend with this brush right here. Now before we spray our whole face and we set with the setting spray, double check everything, especially your eyeshadow. I'm going to take that color in Cover right here, this brown color, and I am going to sweep a little bit under my eyes just to give my eyes a little more definition and they stand out just a tad more. But I am going to set it a little bit so it's not so dark. It's not a super dark color to begin with. If you want to take some of that lighter bronzer with your brush like this and go over your forehead to set that a little bit, you can do that. You can use it to blend some bronzer, because it's not necessarily a very dark bronzy color. It's just more of a blender of sorts. We're ready to set. Use the Anastasia Dewy setting spray. It has a glow to it, some glitter, gives you some shine, and it doesn't mattify your makeup. Eyelashes and mascara. I'm gonna go with a very natural looking eyelash, and it's by Ardell. It's their natural, very, very neutral, and the reason being I'm even putting eyelash extensions, strip lashes on, is because my eyelashes naturally are very short, so it's a little long. Now instead of cutting on the outer corner where it's longer and I want more length, I'm gonna cut the inner corner where the lashes are short. Much better. I like to start on the outer corner. You can work your way towards the other side. Now that our strip lashes are on, we're going to add mascara, and I'm going to use the Youngblood Blackout Mascara. You could just literally brush this as accurate as you can over where you applied the strip lash. The lip combo I'm going to use is by Youngblood, and it is in their lip liner Suede and their lipstick Blushing Nude. And now I'm going to fill with the Blushing Nude. And I'm just going to pat. An easy way to blend is to take a disposable lip brush and just kind of go over the liner and the lipstick. this is the finished look. Thank you so much for joining. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. I hope y'all are staying safe during this quarantine. We will make it through together. Bye.